And as I started writing down some notes and doing some things, the Holy Spirit led me totally different when I got here today. I was struggling, like in my mind, like how am I going to tell them? How will I get them to visualize some of my background? So first, I want to ask permission. Is it okay if I give you guys a little of my spiritual experience? All right. We like to we're at liberty. We like to ask permission for that before we start doing so. Well, one of the things as I was sitting there with my wife and we were going through the hymns, the Holy Spirit came to me and I wrote down something because just to show you guys, I had these notes, all of these notes that I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And the Holy Spirit said, you know what, I got something different for you guys this morning. So one of the things that he pushed me to write down was, when you tell your story about how God worked a miracle in your life, how he blessed you, transformed you, lifted and encouraged you, perhaps even broke you, and then healed you up, no one can argue or debate it. Sharing your testimony goes beyond the field of knowledge into the realm of relationship with God. Tell them the Holy Spirit told me to tell you that.
Amen.
So I'm telling you, the Holy Spirit told me to tell you that. So one of the things that I was struggling with before coming here was just to let you guys know, this is my very first time actually doing a testimony in front of a service. Even though we're co-pastors at Liberty, it's a little different format. So I'm honored that Pastor Dennis and Pastor Sarah will have us here. We are so honored. And just to let you guys know, we are so proud of you guys. Yes. I mean, Tamara and I know when the Lord calls and asks you to step up and do something, no matter what's going on, and you step up and you heed his word, that's big.
Amen.
That's big. So just to let you guys know, I have a couple of sheets for you guys, and what it is it's some scripture. Like I said, some things changed. Pastor Terry can pass them out for me. These are just some scriptures that along the way, along my spiritual journey, that I was going to share with you guys today. So it still may come into play, but I think right now I really just wanted to heed the Holy Spirit word and just kind of talk from the heart and stuff, if it's okay with you guys.
Amen.
And so, what I'd like to leave you guys, what I'll share with you guys is three things. First, I want to share with you what it was like before I became a Christian, and what led me to becoming a Christian and taking up the walk, and how has it been since I became a Christian. Okay, so what the first scripture that I want to share with you guys is Acts 13:47. For so the Lord has commanded us, I have placed you as a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring salvation to the end of the earth. One of the things I grew up in a house that we went to church. My dad, he was a believer. He knew the word. He knew scriptures like the back of his hand. But he never went to church with us unless it was a special occasion. So it was always my mom, my older brother, and my two older sisters. I saw the little girl there this morning, or this evening when we walked in, and we saw the little girl that came up and was singing, and immediately all of these memories start flooding back in. Because what happened was my mom used to take us to church, and that was me. She would have me and my cousin, we would come up and she would make us sing in front of the church, and then she would take us like to all of these different churches in our area. We're from a very small place in Florida. And she would have us sing. She was like our manager. So I think she thought we were going to be like the Jackson 5. So we kind of disappointed her, but she would take us and we would sing. And at the time I was so young, I really didn't know what was going on. But I was singing, and I think because of her, I lost my singing voice. Because to this day, I can't sing unless it's in the shower. But I lost my singing. I absolutely lost my singing voice. But one of the things was that my first memory of church was coming with my mom and her having us up there singing and stuff. And lo and behold, I was trying to picture, how can I tell them how this, to give them a vision of what that church looked like. That church, if you look around right now, St. Luke, this was St. Luke. I kid you not, this was St. Luke, the pews, the way the stadium, the stands are up here. This is how St. Luke was set up. We had this piano. I came in and I haven't like played on a piano like this in forever. I mean, it's been like 3 decades, at least 30 years. This was our piano, you know. And then the Holy Spirit said, okay, when we got in the parking lot, we were coming because my wife has been like, she's always just calm. She has a calming effect on me. She's always this whole calm person that you see before you guys. We came up in the parking lot, and lo and behold, God sent me some smiling face named John. My dad's name was John. I was the third, so I was like, okay, we're off to a good start. This is good. We have a smiler. We have someone named John, great name. We're here, this church. I'm still kind of taken back a little bit because I'm like, this is St. Luke. This is a church that I grew up in from 5 years old, or actually since I was born, but 5 years old is when my big memories started, to a church like this. So the church became like it was a safe haven for me as a little boy growing up in Midway, Florida. It was definitely a safe haven for me. But my next fond memory was, there was a bathroom off to the side of the church. I don't know where your bathroom is.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a bathroom off to the side, and one of the things that my friends and I realized was, oh my goodness, we can go to the bathroom and stay in there the whole service. and literally stay in there and run from anything. We can go out in the dark and stay in the bathroom, play, talk, laugh, and then time it a little bit. By the time they were done with testimonies and everything, then we can come back in, slide through the back, like we've been there the whole time.
Uh-oh.
And it was like, wow, this is great, because it gave me a chance to actually get to play and have a great time with my friends and come to a safe place. Because once again, when I walked in the doors of the church, it was a safe place. Because what I didn't tell you was, when I made it to my home was filled with some things that, as I got older, I realized, but it was a lot of domestic violence in my home. My mom and dad, they were always fussing. Like I said, we were very poor, we didn't know it. So we were rich, to the kids, we were rich, but we were very poor, but there was a lot of domestic violence. So church became our safe place. We would go on Tuesdays. We would go on Wednesdays for Bible study, traditional Bible studies on Wednesdays. We would go on Thursdays for junior choir practice. We would go on Saturdays for a conference and war choir practice if we had to. And again, that became our safe haven. One of the things that we decided that we were going to do was, as we grew up, we said, you know what? We're going to try to do some different things, because in our church, although the church was like this, one of the things that I noticed right away is you guys talk about the love of God. You're talking about relationship with God. We didn't have that. Growing up, I thought God was this. When we came here, this was probably about the closest I was going to get to God was when I was sitting in the back, because what was preached in the pulpit was all these things that God did, but never trying to make it relate to us as kids. There was nothing that related to me with God. I didn't even think you could have a personal relationship with God. And so for, I guess, 8 years old, all the way up until about 10, this was our relationship. So one of the things that I had was, I guess, fear of the unknown, not knowing what this whole Christianity thing was about and stuff, because we were religious. We weren't Christians. We were religious. Big difference.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know what I mean. You see religious versus Christianity. So back then, all of us was religious. Well, what happened was probably when I was maybe 10, my brother, who was actually I was about 8, my brother's like 3-4 years older than I am. he came one day, we were at church, and he literally ran to the pews, behind the pews, and they were trying to find him. And he was like behind the pews. We looked all over for this boy. He had fell asleep like behind the pastor's pew. Wasn't even supposed to be back there. That day, he said this is where he was supposed to be. And so we're kids, we're like, what? And so my parents, everybody thought it was a big joke, you know, hey, Andre, Andre's in the pew, stole the pew. Well, lo and behold, my brother started going to a church up the street. We were what was called Primitive Baptist. My brother started going to a church that was a Kojic church. And totally different than our church. Mm-hmm. So now we have this boy, he was about 13. He's going to 2 churches. I can barely stay in one church. I'm like out in the bathroom hiding out. And this boy is going to 2 different churches. And so once this is the Lord, all of a sudden now this is the Lord starting to speak to me saying, you know, look at your brother. And I had a James moment. You know, Jesus had a brother named James, mm-hmm. Younger brother. Mm-hmm. I started having a little thought like, this must be what James felt like. You know, his brother Jesus over here turning, you know, water into wine, and he's sitting over there like, okay, I got nothing. And I'm sitting there like, I'm hiding out in the bathroom with my brother, preparing to preach at 13.
Wow.
You know, I mean, he was really on it, but it gave me something that inspired you to look at. Well, a couple of years passed, and our family home situation started getting a little bit better. My dad started getting, some help. It started being the dad that we wanted and stuff around. My mom started relaxing a little bit. My dad started going to church service, so I couldn't hide out as much when he came, but it was getting better. But then April 1986 came around, and my dad passed. I was 14. He was 44. So I'm like thinking, like, okay, I just had 6 months to a year of the best times that I can ever think about with my dad at 14. And the first person that I started blaming was God. Mm. And I went on and I blamed God for a while. Like I said, I was young, but I was hurt. And at that time, our church, there was no preaching that God is your father. You still have a father. You have a heavenly father. I never got that. So it was, okay, you know what else is out there for me? So one of the things I started getting into was, at that time, this was before my Christian walk, I started looking for things to fill the void. So one of the things I got into, my uncle put me into martial arts, because I started having a lot of anger. I was having a lot of anger, lashing out. I became an introvert, but when it came martial arts time, I rose to the occasion. When it was football, I rose to the occasion. The one thing that I didn't tell you guys was I was a young kid with a disease called hemophilia. Have you guys ever heard of hemophilia? Mm-hmm. It's a blood disorder. Mm. And what happens with hemophilia is that you get bruised on one area of your body and you bleed on another. Wow. And so I was constantly being taken to the hospital because of bruises and everything. And again, you hear your parents talking, and sometimes you start hearing things that you probably shouldn't hear, and you start hearing how maybe at some point you might be a burden because, we're poor, we can't keep doing this, and then yet here you are getting into things that make it worse, like football, martial arts, wrestling, anything I can think of that was make me feel like I wasn't that sick person, I started doing. But again, the one person that I left out was God. So I was truly like in this dark place because this is what my teen life became. It became this obsession with anything but church, anything but God, because one thing that he did was he took the very one person that I was really wanting in my life, my dad, he took him away just when we were getting really good and everything was going really good, great. He took him away. So for the next, 3 to 4 years, I went through high school just being angry. And then lo and behold, 1988, I was in the Navy, in boot camp, and one of my friends in boot camp that I had met had this picture of this young lady. She was about 14 at the time. Yeah, she was about 14 at the time. I want to say 14. She'll probably say 13, but either way, it was this 14-year-old girl, and I told him, I said, this is going to be my wife. I said, that's going to be my wife right there. That's my future wife. And it was this young lady right here. It was Pastor Tamara. At the time, I had I just felt something. That's going to be your wife right there. And so we went years. Because again, this was pre-Christ. It was just something, it's one of those times when God gives you an opportunity to see a foreshadow of the future and stuff. And then I started feeling like what the prophets must feel like when he gives them a little dream, a little snippet. And they're like, okay, great. All right, now, all you got to do is stay on the right path and follow the light. And so the light took me back to the darkness. Because for the next 3 to 4 years, one of the things I did again, I'm like following everything that the world had for me. I literally followed what the world had for me and wanted to see what it was like. And now what I'm going to do is flash forward. I'm going to fast forward a little bit through, I went to college, met my ex-wife, because I had to book God and I got married to someone. We had we met in college, had a beautiful young lady named Destiny. Flash forward some more, because I still haven't dealt with anger, I still haven't come back to God. At this point, I'm full-fledged away from the church, not doing anything within the church. Nothing. I mean, I knew in my heart, because they started me out as a young kid on the stage, as a young kid, so I knew that God was there, but there was nothing to bring me back. And then all of a sudden, we flash forward some years, I moved to Birmingham, moved my family there thinking, okay, we're gonna start over. We got to Birmingham, and things didn't get better. It actually got worse, and I made it to this particular, this job. It was my dream job at the time. Of course, my ex-wife, I got her a job there. And then all of a sudden, all the things that started, all the things that I had made my God, which was 1, my job, 2, making my family, pleasing my wife, pleasing people. I had made all these things my God. Martial arts, I was heavy into martial arts at the time. These things I was making my God. And then finally, God said, okay, it's time to get your attention. I've been doing these different things. It's time to truly get your attention. And so what happened? He started taking those things that I had, those false gods that I had made, he started one by one taking them away. First thing he started doing was causing me some injuries. So I started having some injuries where I couldn't participate in martial art in tournaments like I used to from a young kid when I got into it. That was the first thing. He started making things at the job a little bit rough because my ex-wife decided to have a extramarital affair with someone that worked with us. So now my number one job became prison, pretty much. It became my prison day to day. He still was saying, okay, I need to get your attention. So I started focusing on, okay, it's time to create a new God. So I made a new God. That new God became my career. I'm going to jump in there, I'm going to do these things, and this is what I'm going to do. So lo and behold, I got a divorce. Of course, after getting divorced, I was at the lowest point in my life, so I went to the church. At this time, I had got a phone call saying, hey, Tamara is in Georgia. And I was getting ready to come to Georgia for a class, for a course with my job. And Pastor Tamara was here going to grad school. So I was thinking, you know what? Now it's time. We hadn't seen each other in like maybe 4 or 5 years. And God was like, you know what? Maybe it's time for you guys to reconnect. So we reconnected. We started daily conversations. And what happened was, now we're at a point where we started making a pivot because now I'm starting to realize, you know what? Maybe there is something with God, with this Jesus thing. So let me start reinvestigating what this is all about. Because right now I don't feel like I can go anywhere else. I feel like everything was being taken. So one day we were having a conversation, and I was at the lowest point in my life. At this point, I was done with everything that the world had to offer me. I found myself at a church, and it was with a priest. And that particular day, I was telling him, you know what, I'm done. I don't have anything else. And as clear as I'm talking to you guys today, God came and the Holy Spirit showed up. And he said, John, he says, you need to prepare yourself for your wife, Tamara. And I was like, okay, and I'm like going, stuff like that just gets weird. I hear people say, God talked to you and stuff, and I'm like, okay, really? He was like, you need to start preparing yourself. Mind you, I haven't seen this young lady in at least 5 years. We were never romantically involved. We just had a crush and stuff. And I had no idea what was going on in her life. She had no idea what was going on in mine until we got back together. And I went to this priest. He told me this, so I called her up, and she had to walk me, back a few times because I was really at a low place. I started going to church. I started taking my daughter to church with me. I started investigating Christ again. And what happened in church was I found God's love. The one thing that no one ever told me was God is there. Even when you're at your lowest, he's there with you. Amen. He's there with you. Even when you think there's nothing else there's nothing else here for you, he's there. He's there. So I started learning. It was like, oh my goodness, like he was leading me. He was giving me, he was trying to put me on the path to light, and I just was quickly trying to do it my way. And he looks back and he said, you know what, you can do it your way. It's going to take a little longer, but you can do it your way or you can do it my way, and where it'll be sweeter. So from that day, we started talking. She put me through the ringer. She made me send her divorce papers. I had to fast forward divorce papers to prove that I was divorced. She pretty much made me stay in constant conversation with her. And all this time I started thinking, I was like, okay, well, this girl is like an angel to me, and she obviously is in church. She was not in church. Pastor Cameron was spiritual. She was awesome. We talked about things, we talked about everything, but she was spiritual. She had not grown up in church. And all this time I'm thinking, yes, she's been in church. I'm like, okay, Lord, you said you were, that this is you want me to do this the right way, find this godly woman, all this stuff. And then it turns out that she wasn't like all that godly. She was not worldly, but she was not godly either. But one of the things that happened was we got together. We started a spiritual journey together. We would investigate churches. We were looking at different churches. I moved to Georgia. We were going through a lot of things with my ex-wife and my daughter, so we would literally have to travel back and forth to see her, because one of the things that I always promised was, just like I always wanted my dad there, I said my daughter would never go without knowing that her father was in her life. So every weekend, we would go to Birmingham, pick her up, bring her here from Fridays, have her weekends, take her back. We would be there for any little things. She can be having a play. Literally, she had a play where she had one line. And that one line was a Christmas play. And all she said was, and they stole my robe. We stayed on that highway 2 hours to go just to hear her say that very one line. But it was one of those things where we said, okay, I'm trying to get on God's path. So just to flash forward a little bit, it's one of those things where we went through a year or so. We ended up getting engaged. We got married April 21st, she looked at me like, we got married in 2001. We've been married 18 years.
Wow.
Flash forward, we got married. which was huge. We started going to some churches together and stuff, and we still wasn't like a mainstay in the church. We were trying different, we were testing things out. Well, come September, big bang. This is the point where God said, okay, now it's time to get your attention again. September 1st, 2001. You guys know what happened? 9/11?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew about 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
9/11. We were on a plane. Pastor Tamara and I was on a plane coming from Pittsburgh. 9 o'clock that morning, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock that morning, we were coming from Pittsburgh. We landed in Atlanta, and it was the eeriest feeling, because there was absolutely quiet in Atlanta's airport. Everyone was walking, and it was just like we were in a fog. We realized that they wouldn't let us off the plane. They told us that that the towers had been hit and everything. And right then, we were going to a church. We were going to a church in Smyrna, and we had not made it our church home. But Pastor Tamara, one of the things that she was kind of lukewarm about the whole thing, about giving her life, because she was like, we're spiritual, we're good people, we don't need to do we don't need to go that far and do all that stuff. So at that particular juncture, God was like, okay, John, it's time for you to be the man and step up and sort of demand some things. So one of the things that I did was I went to our pastor at the time and said, I want to set up an appointment with you and my wife. And I was like, this is not going to go well. she's very, very strong-willed. So I'm thinking, okay, he was like, oh, we got this. We're going to bring her in, we're going to pray for her, and we're going to talk to her. I was like, I got to see this. I was like, this is not going to go well. But I was like, hey, I'm going to listen to what God told me. God said, get her there and he'll do the rest. So we end up, this is a few weeks after 9/11, we get to Pastor Peter's office, and we walk in, and he starts in on his prayer 5 minutes. So this is the moment, I tell you, this is the very moment that I realized God is real, the Holy Spirit is real, and that there's nothing, the only thing that we are put here to do is know him and make him known. Because Pastor Peter started praying with Tamara, and he didn't even get 2 minutes, he didn't even get 2 seconds into his prayer before she was on her knees saying, I believe, Jesus is my Savior. And I tell you, church, at that point, again, coming back almost 30 years and thinking, never have I ever believed in God, never thought I could have a personal relationship. And then we flash forward all the way up until that moment when I know what was going on in our lives. I know what we were doing. I know the things that we, our thought process, and then to see the Holy Spirit walking there, we both was like just bawling. And she literally gave her life to Christ right there. And that became, I know I'm talking about her a lot, but what happened was she became a catalyst. What the Holy Spirit did for her, he was doing for me. Because in order to turn yourself around, in order to walk the path, you got to be willing to accept that. You got to be willing to say, okay, Lord, you're in control. I'm not in control anymore. And he showed me that he was still in control. She gave her life away to Jesus. We did a baptism. I was able to engage in helping her baptize, and then he came with a second miracle. The second miracle was right then he had me to rededicate my life. I got baptized as 10 years old. I mean, when I was 10, only because all the 10-year-olds in the church at that time came up and got baptized. And I was like, okay, you're not leaving me behind, because remember I had a brother who was like ready to preach at 13. So I was like, you can't leave me behind. So I came up with him, and we both I rededicated myself to Jesus. And the thing that Tamara and I, the thing that we have had that's been a constant since that time is we said we would find a church home, we would make sure that we were faithful in that church, and we would serve in that church, not just sit in the back, not hide in the back. Well, again, it was like just a couple years later, we actually went to a church. We started serving. There was a big thing happened in the church, so the church split. We left, and then 15 years ago, we walked in the Liberty Church, and we walked in, not knowing what to expect. We've been there 15 years. We've been there 15 years now, and in that time, when we first, it wasn't all gravy. There was a time when I tried to slide back a little bit, and matter of fact, we started we call it the bathroom ministry. Literally, we started the bathroom ministry. Pastor, there's another pastor at Liberty that's a co-pastor. He's actually the pastor for Dennis and Sarah, for Pastor Dennis and Sarah. He's Pastor John Bradley. He and I used to hide out in the bathroom. I kid you not, we used to hide out in the bathroom. It was like during halftime break, we have a halftime break so people can take their children to children's church and get something, from the cafe and come back. Well, here I am, a grown man, we started to hide out in the bathroom because we didn't want to talk to people. We did not want to talk to people. My wife would be out, getting a little social butterfly, talking to people. We would be out in the back, staying in the bathroom like, okay, is it almost over? And then we would come out. Well, lo and behold, flash forward a couple of years, Pastor John Bradley, somehow he let God talk him into becoming a pastor. So he became a co-pastor. And about 2 weeks after he became a co-pastor, he asked Pastor Tamara and I to become his welcome pastors. And so it's funny how, like I told you before, it's funny how God has a sense of humor. God does have a sense of humor. So we, to this day, Pastor John Bradley and I, we laugh about that because he's co-pastors at 10 o'clock service, we're co-pastors at 8 o'clock service, and it's just great to see how God moved in our lives and just to bring it forward, some of the things. Now that we've been on this faithful walk, I'm going to tell you, it hasn't been perfect. I don't think God calls us to be perfect, He calls us to try. But the thing that I can say is we've been on this journey together. I absolutely just adore the fact that through her researching and when she became a Christian, I will tell you, she was hungry. She was reading everything she can. She had the Bible out, and what that did was reignite me. It just, because I'm like, okay, oh my God, this girl is about to be evangelist. I can't believe that time, so I gotta, just drag on her little coattail or whatever. But just to let you know, the big thing that I just wanted you guys